Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to Mental Health and presented by Tunes for a Boost. I'm the Space Case, and this is where I talk about mental health while I'm tackling random creative projects. Today, I have two barely wooden boxes from the dollar store that I'm going to turn into stylish craft storage for some of my art and candle making supplies. If you've explored the rest of the TFB galaxy, I'm sure you've figured out that I'm obsessed with space. And one of my favorite things in the summer is just sitting out at night and staring at the stars. It really makes me feel grounded, and it's where I have some of my best moments of reflection. So I figure why not get a little artsy with my craft storage? So I'm doing everything galaxy. So these are getting the galaxy look. I'm tapping away. I do eventually want to do a galaxy accent wall in my basement, so this is actually pretty good practice to see how it turns out. Really, all I did was take a household sponge and cut it up into a bunch of oddly shaped pieces, and then I started going in with different colors and layering them on bit by bit. I didn't really let them dry in between because I was pretty overzealous, but it definitely helped with the blending, and they did create more of that galaxy feel that I was looking for. Then I just kept tapping, tappa, just like that episode of The Simpsons. Now playing is No Prayers by Zed's Dead, No More Links. This is one of my favorite songs. I think it's so motivational, and I like to listen to it when I do pretty much anything. So check it out on the Inspiration from the TFB Space Station playlist over on Spotify. I've actually seen Zed's Dead at a couple music festivals, and they're pretty great live. I actually wasn't into them before I saw them live, but a lot of their stuff sounds less like noise when you see it in person. Now I'm just jamming and continuing to tap. I have to mix some paint, shake it like a Polaroid picture. At the time I recorded this, I only really had the primary colors black and white. And so here I am trying to use red and white to mix a pink to go in my galaxy. I did struggle a bit with mixing the right shade. And since before this, I had really only ever painted walls, it was definitely coming out more of a pastel than I wanted, so I decided to go in with a glow in the dark pink that I had that was closer to what I was looking for than I was able to mix myself. But this is where Mad Scientist mode was officially activated. I was just mixing stuff and sponging it on and having a great time. And I really started to get excited because it was starting to look really good. And I've never done a lot of crafts up until this point. So this was one of my first craft projects. You just got to keep tappa. And I figured it was for what I was trying to do, just keep tapping. But what seemed to start as a random pattern actually started to look kind of like a picture. So I did let it dry a little bit after I'd gone in with one color or with each color once. But this is how it turned out, and I was so pumped. I didn't expect it to look this good at all. Now I'm debating on going back in with some more color, but I ultimately decide against it, and I'm taking a time out. And we're back. Now going in with a Galaxy varnish that I got at Michael's that I am absolutely obsessed with. I'm going over the top of the box now. I also did the second box that I have off to the side, taking a bit of a dance break, and now take a timeout while it dries. Okay, hi, I'm back. I've had a clothing change. I went to go get an ice cap and I spilt it all over myself. So I had to change. I've got my smock on now. Then I did some detail work and went to my parents for dinner, and now I'm back. So here I am doing it again. Putting on my tunes. Let's go. I don't even recall what song I was starting with here, but now we're going in with some little storage boxes. So I just got these at the dollar store. There's one that has three shelves and one that has four. And basically I painted the whole outside and the drawers themselves in black, and then I went back around the outside of the boxes and did the sponge technique again with the same colors to try to create the same effect. Because, oh, shout out to Tim Hortons, because that's my favorite coffee place. So yeah, all of these are going to be sort of sitting together, and I did want to give them sort of a cohesive look. I was struggling to mix the colors in because I was trying to make it look consistent from piece to piece, and I wasn't mixing enough. So this is something that I learned this early on in my craft journey. Now I have more colors of paint, so it's not too bad. But at this point, I only had like 4 colors of paint plus glow in the dark paint, and was trying to make it work. My dog's there in the background. He's kind of hard to see. He's not a Saint Bernard, but he is a big boy, and he is very supportive of my eccentric artist era. So I'm very excited about that because I could use the support, especially since I spend this much time tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Normally he's bringing me toys at my feet, and I have to sort of kick a ball while I do that. So by this point, this has been going on and off all day. So I'm kind of annoyed, and I'm so close to the finish line, but it didn't feel right yet. So I just kept putting colors on and kept sponging away and just tappa, 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 tappa. And it was coming together, but it wasn't quite right. And I was just trying to fluff it out a little bit. I think at this point I was actually putting on a little bit more paint than I expected, so I was trying to blend it in. Free Woman, the Clarence Clarity remix, is actually fantastic. I like that better than the original. Um, I am having the best time. I do have a resting concentration face, so it may not look like I'm having as much fun as I'm having while I'm crafting, but this is where I definitely do some of my best thinking. I love just chilling in my tunes and working on something creative, and I've been finding that doing this has brought me so much peace. Masterpiece, Jessie J, great song to paint to. I really have been looking for the best craft songs, songs to craft to. I started trying to find crochet songs, and I found that that was difficult. Normally, I just put the iPod on shuffle and see what it serves up, and it's actually been providing a pretty good mix of craft tunes. So here I'm struggling with the varnish. It's drying pretty quickly, trying to spread it out, but I actually love this Galaxy varnish. I'm gonna have to get some more. I think it was like 13 bucks at Michael's. Yeah, at this point I can't even stop. I think I did, I don't know, 2 or 3 coats of varnish. These bitches will sparkle, and let me tell you, the finished product really does. So this is the box. I'm doing the sides now. The top has dried and it's cured a little bit. I had done that earlier in the day. Lovelier Than You. B.o.B is a really underrated artist too, and The Adventures of Bobby Ray is a really good album that I don't think gets enough credit for its impact. At the time, I think that was like 2010 that was released, 2010, 2012, something around there. So now just adding finishing touches, going in with the sponge, and this is the reveal. So those are my 2 boxes where I did the sponge technique. The storage boxes, I also had these owls that I put decorative trim on, and I had finished up some coasters as well. These are my projects for today. Check back next time to see what else I've got going on.